Channel, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies, and it's our way to give the earth a little hug. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I got up right in the middle of a little sewing project and got a cup of coffee. Let me tell you what kind of coffee it is. And I'm going to tell you how to make it. So it's cinnamon hazelnut, and it's not an advertisement, but cinnamon hazelnut with New England coffee. So the way you do this is if you're using one of your own Keurig cups, do 5 teaspoons. 5. This came out perfect. So anyway, we're gonna go over here to the art section, and I hope everyone's staying warm today. And it is, I'll tell you what, it's like, well, today it's like, when I woke up, it was like in the 30s, and it's going, I think, into the 50s a little bit, but then it's dropping back down to the, yeah, way down to, I want to say, not mid 30s, but it's, you know what, I think it's going below freezing. Yes, I do. I think it's going below freezing. So that would be about 30 or so. So anyway, with that, stay warm. This is a good cup of coffee. So I am just sewing up this journal. I'm just going to sew that. And then I want to share some things with you that I had finished since the last project. And I finished since the last project, and I want to make more, and I'm going to talk to you about the classes coming up too. So this one I'm just doing a stitch right around the edges and staying just about 1/8 of an inch, just the margin of the foot piece here, and just going right around. And this is the meditation journal, and so you can make your pieces, yes, either hand stitch them or do your machine stitching, whatever is giving you peace and harmony. And that's what I would do, is choose the method that just, brings you most joy. Okay, so I just want to kind of finish that right there, and show you. That's basically the machine stitch. That's basically what I'm doing, is a very simplistic machine stitching. Now with that, you can do the same thing with the little charms that I've been making, but I've been doing these by hand. So I want to talk to you about that. But these pieces here, this meditation journal that we're working on. Okay, I just want to show you this because first of all, I got great inspiration from a certain channel, and I'm going to share, I wrote some notes on her, and I'm going to share this channel with you shortly. But this meditation journal, that's what this is going to be. Now, very simplistic. Now, I can go around the edges and stitch if I want, and or I can just leave it the way it is. This is going to be the cover. I can leave it the way it is, or I can add tool. Let me tell you something. This tool makes such a difference with your decor. And so with that, I kind of want to stop here. I want to show you the charms, and then I'm going to do the thrift shop share, and we're going to come back and make a charm. And but I want to also share with you the video I saw today on this lady making charms. and what makes her unique, okay? So now a couple things. When you're making a piece like this, okay, this little wall hanging, because when you start working with your fabric, it can be a wall hanging, it could be meditation book, junk journal book, it can be your little charms. But look, you can use pieces like this. This is, I'm just saying, I could have put the piece on the driftwood. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be the exact, like, look, this would be really pretty too. You know what I mean? Sometimes just the fabric by itself. I say that all the time. Anyway, just throwing some ideas out there. Now, I made, I don't believe I did share these with you here. I was on another platform. Now, this one you saw, I did share here on Echo Art with Carmella-T. And hi, Lexine. Hi, thanks for being here. And when I was talking about this, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I put the pin on? Now, they do have pins that are specific to jewelry. They're called jewelry pins. Some people call them the kilt, K-I-L-T, like the kilt skirt pins. This is a regular safety pin, but it's larger. And I did get it in the craft section at Walmart. They were only like $1 or so. So I thought that was a great buy. Now, the fabric is, I had explained this one where I folded it over and I just did a couple stitches. And I think I was even bringing you with me on this particular one. So I'm going to put this down. Now, since then, I made this one. And this says Spice of Life. And I may have already shared these, but for those of you who didn't see them, I'm showing them again. But that says Spice of Life in a little coffee pot, and it's just really cute. So this can be safety pinned onto your clothing, or you could put it on your bag or your suitcase, or pin it someplace in the house, just really cutesy, aesthetic is what I'm thinking. Okay. Now, so then this is WIP. This is WIP. This design, if you look at it, it's a heart. And I didn't do that on purpose. I was not making a heart. I was just putting the fabric on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a heart. Anyway, I love this one. So I'm putting this to the side because what I evolved into was making pieces that were magnet pieces for the refrigerator. And this just says fresh brew. But you notice something very different between the magnets and the little pins is there's no sewing here. I use the, hi Lover Dragons. Hi, thanks for being here. Thank you. So I used all, this is what I used, is the Fabric Fusion Glue by Eileen's. She makes all different types. She makes a kind of a tacky clear gel too, and I use that too. Thank you. Yeah, isn't it cute? Seriously. Now I put 2 magnets. It didn't need 2. It would go on the refrigerator fine. But 2, if someone buys this, guess what? 2 are going to hold actually a note or a piece of paper or something. And these are what the magnets look like. Okay, Walmart. I gotta tell you though, I need to take a sip of this. Wait till you hear this. I went in because I've been into Walmart because I've been looking for certain supplies and tools that I want to have. Their shelves are getting empty in the craft area. I'm just telling you, that is what's happening, at least up here in the Northeast Kingdom. Oh, thank you. You love it. You love it. Yes. I know, right? Look, Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I just thank you so much. This is cutesy, and just gluing it, okay, is enough. Sometimes that's enough. And sometimes you do not. Thank you. Thank you for your welcome. Sometimes you do not need to do the visible stitching. And you can do that same thing with your pins. And this one, the first like, oh, let me show you another one I did. Okay, so I did this one. I did the Spice of Life. Okay, I did that one. I did this one. This one you saw me working on too the other night, but that's just cute. That's just cutesy. I know, right? That's adorable. That's adorable. I kind of get the bohemian kind of vibey from that. But I'm gonna show you the key here in a second. Wait till you see it. Okay, and then this one, right? Okay, this isn't done. Now, okay, before I show you actually another way, because I have one more way or two, I want to show you this. This is what's making them so beautiful. When you get, and these are unique fabrics. When you get tulle, okay, this is a yellow tulle. When you get this, it is very difficult for textile artists to say, oh my God, what am I going to do with that? When you get something like this, I know, it's pretty, isn't it? And something like this, it's a shiny blend. I don't know if it's fast fabric or not, but I'm just glad I'm saving it from going into the landfill. Yeah, that's right. That's, acrylic, synthetic, polyester, all of it. But to take it and save it from the landfill and make it into something that someone's just going to get, a little smile or get a really good feeling from, I feel we really need to work hard on this nowadays. Us artists, we need to we're the expressors. We express, right? And we create. And to get those positive vibes out there, I think is really important nowadays. People are looking for the positive vibes. Now, I think the idea of having something like this, and I'm going to elaborate on this, just kind of gluing it together, taking a few fabrics, and it's a little magnet, and it's bright and cheerful and kind of a little Zen thing, and fresh brew. I mean, it's adorable, and that's what's unique about this. Where did I put it? This one. Okay, it's the same fabric. You see? It says different things on here. It says more coffee. Coffee is a hug in a mug. Oh my God, is that too darn cute? You could take the little pumpkin or the wording, so many different parts of this scrap fabric, and just get a couple other little pieces of fabric, do your little fabric collage, and make your little magnets. This is an art and craft sell, make and sell. This is a make and sell. And, you can stay with the same, and I have this is about 2 by 1. Yeah, I think that's what, you can stay with the same measure. Or you could just do a whole bunch of different types of shapes and measures. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is 2.5 by, 2.5 by 2? That's 2.5 by 2. I wouldn't have thought it was by 2. I made that. I didn't even know it was 2.5 by 2. So, but these are what I call unique fabrics. Fabrics with wording, and maybe themed for the holidays or themed for something special. Tulle, something you don't usually see. Thank you so much, Lexine. Thank you. And then a fabric like this that you don't typically see. The ones we typically see are like the denim, or like this little mitten. This little mitten is a very crafty folklore, little crafty little, you've seen it 1,000 times, but guess what? You could put magnets on the back, and this could be a little refrigerator piece too. I mean, it's very simplistic, but it's about that, size, just a little larger. So those are little crafty things. Now, I'm going to give you one more idea before we get into the thrift shop bag, and then we're going to design a little charm together. And then I want to talk to you about this YouTuber who, she gives these another name, and I'm impressed. So I'll tell you what they are. But first, check this out. This is a piece I made super long time ago. You see the little sashiko stitching, the visible stitching, and you see the fabric. So this is needle felted and wet felted. What do I mean by that? I mean, you do your dry needle felting and just make a little piece. Okay, bye. Thank you, Lexine, for being here. And you could just review the end later. So you just do your dry felting of a little square piece or round piece or whatever it is, thank you, you'd like to do. And then once you have it dry felted into the shape that you want, and you needle felted both sides, then take it and just put it in like a little towel, and and some people say, yeah, a little piece of plastic, and then just, roll it up, and you put the plastic, put the towel, then roll it up. It might adhere a tiny bit to the towel, but once you roll it, you have to wet the piece first after you've done your needle felting. Just wet it, spray it with some warm water, and then when you roll it up and you're that's felting it, you're just felting it more, so you get a piece like this. But you want to add fabrics to it. You can either do that when you are wet felting it, which is called nuno felting, which we can cover on here because I'm going to do some of these, and or you can just simply sew the fabric on. Okay, some fabrics you can needle felt right into the dry felting. It depends. You want to test that out and be very careful because your needle could break right into your fabrics. So with that, what we're going to do is go through this bag. Yeah, I went to the thrift shop. Now, I gotta tell you, I haven't been on my old stomping grounds, but I just can't get there. I cannot get there because I had a super busy week not too long ago. So, oh yeah, let me update you on that, by the way. So, we are designing and planning another class that will be happening in November at the River Arts. We have a class this month on creating gnomes, little needle felted gnomes, and I'll be making some, and then I'll just show you what they look like. But that class is on the 23rd of this month at the River Arts. So if you are interested in it, give them a call. They are in Morrisville, Vermont. If any of you are in Vermont or coming through Vermont. Now we're going to have it at earlier in the day, which is good because this last time we had it so late. It was right at supper time at 5:30, and they were like, do not have the class at that time. So guess what? We're going to have it at 4 o'clock. So it will be over by supper time. And so we'll have that class, and it will be making the gnomes, needle felting them, and then putting some little clothing on them and the little beards. And it's going to be a really fun class. So I bring all the supplies, and I'll have the fabrics so people can choose fabrics if they want for like the holidays or fall, or just, what they want. It doesn't have to be the holidays. So with that, I've been busy getting ready for that class on the 23rd, because we have a full class again on the 23rd, which is great. That's what we want. But I believe there's still room if you're trying to get in the class. So with that, we'll go through this back. So I went to the thrift shop up here. And you know, I was saying to you, so many things that I've used, I end up using in projects I've actually had like on my shelf probably for a year, 2 years, because I know at some point I would use them, and I did. So I bought some stuff today that I don't have a clue, just like the other things I have, don't have a clue what I'm doing with them, but I'm going to share them with you. The first thing, and then some of them I do. The first thing I picked up, check this out. Some of you may know what these are. Look, 25 cents. Okay, I don't know what it is. Now, I'm gonna look. I got purple, I got teal. I'm just gonna put this down so you can see. You can see all the colors. I got purple, teal, yellow, beige. Okay, not done. Multicolor, 25 cents each. So what are they? One lady was telling me, I said, okay, it says paper. I said, is that like an old name for like raffia, or what is that? So the lady says to me, this is what she does. She picks up a piece of it and she starts this. She starts undoing it. And she's like, yeah. She's like, just untwist it. Look. And she's like, look at this. And you get paper. And so it's like crafty paper. You could just leave it like that and make flowers. I'm not kidding you either. I mean, that's adorable. I have not a clue right now what I'm doing with all those. So I have all of those. And would I typically buy these in the store? No, because I don't even know what to do with these. But I'll do some research. And if you know what to do with them, let me know. But look at the tag. This is old. Okay, look what it says. It says proudly made by Americans with disabilities in the USA. Benton Harbor, Michigan. Quick craft, super quality paper twist. Yeah. So look, I'm looking closer. Look at the flower right there. So maybe that's what these are for, making flowers. Anyway, I am psyched, and I love to learn about new things and tools and supplies. So these were at the thrift shop, so I got those. Have their little craft section up. So up here in the Northeast Kingdom, it's called SEE, more. Like you see more. That's the name of it. So it's a thrift shop. It's right off of the main drag. So these can be used to make our little charms. Okay, I mean, seriously, check that out. Typically, I'm like, what am I going to do with that? Because, you know, unless you're making a costume, unless you're making something specific. But guess what? These can be used to make our fabric textile art charms. Some of them Boro Sashiko inspired. Some of them just maybe a vintage vibe going on. Now, a lady, before I show you the other things, a lady, I'm going to give you her name now because I don't want to forget. The name of the channel is, you may have heard of it, Our Shabby Cottage. She is phenomenal. I really like her style. She does a lot of her pieces have the sayings of the Psalms or biblical sayings. She does a beautiful job. She is calling these like I'm calling these textile brooches or Boro Sashiko inspired pins or tags or gift tags. She calls them, um, she's calling them hang tag. She's calling them a hang tag. So I think you can, yeah, hang it somewhere, but it's got a little saying on it. I just love her work. Check out her work. She did a video on, made a little nest, but for the eggs, she uses beans and she sprinkles them with the paint. Now, I have seen that in the past, but the way she did it was just lovely. And she gave credit to her viewer who suggested that. I think they're called Great Northern Beans. And I love the channels. I will be right there promoting you. When I hear you promote others where you got your inspiration, I will write your name down and you will be also promoted by me, because we all get our inspiration from somewhere at some point. But, and then, we kind of go on our own creative path. But the thing of it is to share when you're getting that inspiration, like who you got that from or where you got it. I think that's so admirable. So anyway, I feel like I want to use this piece today to do our little charm pin or brooch. They can be so many things. Okay, so this is the other bag I got. So this bag was $1. And what I'm trying to do is replenish my stash of ribbons that I have, because I use ribbons for my coin bags, and I've got to do more coin bags. Okay, so look at these ribbons. Look. Pink, here. I just put that down. I got pink, blue. There's like a paisley blue. Look at this. Here's a Christmas. These cost a little bit when you go buy them. Look, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And nice gold, the gold. And I got a lot for $1, I mean, or really. So I thought that was a great buy. I'm going to keep that blue out right there for the one we're going to, and the pink, for the one we're going to work on next. So the next thing I got, look, I got more tulle, because these fabrics are like this. This is a ribbon. This is a special little ruffle, kind of fancy ruffle. And the wording fabrics, those unique fabrics are what make your brooches, your textile brooches, really unique, because you can really play around with that. Okay, so then I got this. This I just picked out of the fabric drawer. So they say get a bag of fabric for $5. So I picked this out because this is definitely a pretty type of fabric. I'd like to make magnets. I'd like to make the textile brooches, all of those with this type of fabric. That fabric I can dress up. So then I got, wait till you see. So then I got this fabric. Check this out. These are really old. Let me just, I'm going to put the camera down so you can see. So these are really old, but if you look at this, I mean, look at that. It's the eyelet. This is gorgeous. This, I don't even want to cut this up. I want to take this and I want to embellish it and create something from this. Now, with the Japanese art of origami, there's a lot of different things that you could do with this. And, you can fold it different ways. You can sew it. Just a whole bunch of different things that you can do. But these are really old. These are actually vintage. And I even think this ribbon is vintage, but look at those together. Aren't those just gorgeous? Okay, I mean, really. Okay, so I got some more vintage fabrics. This is also vintage. Look, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to cut this up either. Check this out. Look, 1982. I mean, look at this. This is probably a Vermont seam. Is it? Does it say? But I mean, look at this. I mean, okay, look. Some pieces I get, I'm serious. I'm like, I could resell it for vintage. I don't know if I'm going to cut this up. I'm not kidding you either. I got to get back on WhatsApp. And because certain things, look, 1982. I mean, yeah. It's maybe more of an antique at this point, right? So we got that. And then I got this delicate, pretty little, it looks like somebody was making little hankies. They did a lovely little job. You can see, look how delicate the print is. And then this pretty little piece. And this is, let's see, look, it's 100% polyester. So we're saving this from going into the landfill. And we can make some lovely Christmas little textile brooches or hang tags, as our shabby cottage calls them. Or you can make gift tags, or you can make a little piece to go into your junk journal, or magnets. So many things we can make with this idea of taking the fabric and either putting a pin or putting or just doing a fabric collage and putting your magnets on the back. If you do a piece like this, you want to make sure you're using at least a couple of pieces of fabric just to give it a little substantiality. And this one, of course, you'd be sewing your fabrics onto a base. So I usually use the denim. Okay, so got that. And then this lovely piece, I thought this was just precious. This by itself, this is a whole piece, and they cut it from a larger piece, but look at the sunflowers. I mean, so I'm just saying, now wait to see the last thing I got. Okay, so I'm gonna put these to the side, and I'm very, 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 very excited to work with those. So this is the last piece, and I want to open this because I kind of want to see what these are. This is the last piece I got. And so I spent a total of $9 altogether, and that was only because I got a bag that was $5. So these are shells, and I love working with shells. I love making the little mushrooms and little creatures, needle felted, and putting them, kind of gluing them into the shell. Look, I can't get this open. Here we go. I'll have to put it over here. There we go. Get a little muscle. Let's check out some of these shells. So look at that. That's unique. I mean, that's unique. Look at the size of these. These are pretty good size. I mean, these are absolutely lovely. Look, that's almost 3. It's almost 3 inches. It's not quite, but it's 2.5 anyway. That's, and there's more like that, and there's some little ones in here. Now you're saying, oh my God, Carmella, what are you doing with the shells? Well, with the shells, okay, you can take your shells and you can totally mix these with fabric. Okay, you can mix them with fabric. Okay, let me show you. So let's say, and I like to kind of think of it with the needle felting type, but we can use, let's just kind of use a few of these examples, okay, because You can do this a few different ways. Some of these shells may have an area where you can actually sew through. Some of them do, some don't. Or you can take them and you can simply glue them onto your you can glue them onto your fabric. You can give them a little paint. You can do whatever it is you want to do with these, okay? And kind of go for the little tiny ones, you know, and just kind of add them to your art. So it depends what you want to do. The other thing you can do with shells is you can make, what we did was take the mushrooms in the class. I put the mushroom inside the shell. Somebody else took a shell and they put the mushroom on the outside of the shell, so the splay was kind of gently around the shell. That worked beautifully. That's a lovely way to do it. But look at the designs of these. I don't know if this is someone's collection or what. But look, just the shell itself is stunning. So you get a little drill, and you can put a hole in the shells in each of them and make necklaces. Anyway, that's what these are. So I'm going to put these back because I just love shells. I don't always have. As a child, I was on the beach a lot. So anyway, we're going to put that there. And, okay, so what I'm going to do is I really do want to make one of these pieces. And I got to tell you, I'm at the point where I'm like, am I making a pin? Am I making a magnet? Oh, what on earth am I making? Well, I have figured out for the magnets, I want wording like this. I do. This says fresh brew. I want wording like that, something like they could put in the kitchen. So I decided I'm going to go with that theme because it's much easier for me, or plants, something like that. So that's what I'm doing with my pieces for the magnets. For the brochures, for the brooches, I want to use the ribbon. Now, some of these ribbons, you see this? They have wire. So you can either, roll the wire and tuck it in, or what I do is I clip it, and I'm just going to show you my scissors here. I clip it, okay? But these are also beautiful fabrics to be used on, to make a junk journal. So I clip it, and then I take the wire out. I've been saving it, but I take it out because for me, it's just, it takes me a way long time to be rolling it and tucking it, but you can roll it and tuck it. And some people might be better at that than others. So I just take that out, and I'm going to put this down and just show you how I put a little textile brooch together. And, sometimes I do the burl sashiko. I've been doing that a few times now. So look, just those next to each other. You could even kind of do something like that. I mean, seriously. But this is the style that I'm really attached to, and I'm really loving this for a pin. Okay, I'm loving it. So that's kind of what I'm going with right now. Now, the way I did this is I got a piece of denim, and so the denim can be, it can be either like this piece is a seamed piece. So it's a piece that was on the waist. So like this keychain I made, this is also a piece, excuse me, that was on the waist of some jean pants. But you can also work simply with a piece of jean fabric. So it doesn't have to be like that. Now the other thing I like to do is fray it. Okay, I really do. And this has a little bit of fraying beginning, so I'm just going to pull some of these out. I just love the fraying effect. And you can take the fray and you can either trim it to what you want it to be, or you can just leave it. But I just love the fraying effect. So you can take these little pieces and just adorn them with your creativity. So now I really, really, really like this. So I'm going to just put, I kind of want to take the glue and play around with this just a tiny bit. Now this also, I want to show you something. This fabric right here that I got, this is a thicker fabric, and I thought this might be perfect for a pin, for a brochure. Let me just, and I kind of do this anyway. I kind of do like a couple pieces at a time. It's just because I'm seeing one piece and then I'm like, oh my gosh, now I've got an idea for another. But while I was fraying that, I was thinking, wow, this frays too. Look how easily that frays. So this might do good with a little glue in the back, with a little piece of denim. So that, and you can even use the fraying to be part of your piece, okay? But this definitely you want to put either on the back to kind of adhere it and stop your fraying, or you can use it and fray that even more. This would be, I'm going to play around with that because this would be a lovely piece for that. So, okay, let's see here. Yeah, where's my glue? Just add it here. Yeah, here we go. So, but there's so many different ways you can make your pins. So I'm just going to move that and just keep a few there while we put this. We'll put this one together. It's a little smaller, and I'm just going to kind of cut that on an angle, just because. And I'm going to put one angle over there, and I'm going to put one angle as part of the jean piece. And I've got two pieces because that one was just way too large. And I'm just going to kind of put them together in just an artistic way that I want them to be. And I have this little piece of a tulle bow that I made, and I think that would be really super cute there. And I'm just, kind of laying it out, and the way I think it would just look adorable. Now this piece, this is what we just got at the thrift shop today. So it's a lovely scalloped piece, and it can go, that can go underneath, or it might go a little better over here. Yeah, that's super pretty. I really, really like that. Just, actually, I think this would be the bottom part, and that can be the top there with a little of the pink underneath. That's what I'm thinking. And there's just, so it gives it just a subtle variation of the changes of the colors. But look at how you get the kind of vintage vibe going there. So so with this, I love the little bow there, and I already have my yarn and my thread out. So I feel like with this piece right here, what I'd like to do, and the more you create and the more you work with these pieces, the more you come up with different ideas. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm loving this piece. This is surprising me right now, but I'm gonna go, I want to sew that also. So, yeah, I definitely want to sew that. So let me move that over. And this, all our scrap fabric, that's all this is right here. So, okay. So this one is also WIP. Okay, that's WIP, work in progress. And so I'm just sewing these on. And with this particular, because these are so small, what I'm doing, there's a couple different ways to sew the bow on. Okay, you can just lay it flat on there before you tie the bow and put a couple stitches in, or you can tie the bow and then put your stitches in. I had another piece there. I want that piece to kind of be showing, well, let's see here. I want the, trying to get the, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I wanted the little edge part of it to show. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm putting I'm doing some sashiko stitching. Now these tiny little pieces, yes, you want to be careful that your needle is not too big because you do not. So I just want to set that down for a minute. Look, look, look how adorable that is already. Okay, now what I plan to do with this piece is after I go around the edges here, so I'll just continue working while I'm talking. I'm going to cut another piece and just simply glue it to the back of this. And then when I put the pin on to make it a brooch, I will be decorating the pin, whether it be with a couple little pieces of beads, a little bit more lace, really adorn it so the aesthetics of it are just precious, you know what I mean? And that shows, I mean, when you enjoy doing something like this, it just really, really shows. So in the piece. It shows if you did it haphazardly. It shows if you're kind of, getting some ideas and you're being really, trying to create something unique and different. Look at the stitches on this. This gets me every time how subtle certain colors and tones. Look how the stitches are kind of jumping out off of this soft pink peach type of a ribbon, and this is this color, a deeper coral, and it's just a lovely. I cannot wait to see what it looks like on this one. So I'll do that with you here. So okay, and I'm just going to put a few more of these. Actually, I'm going to stop right there because what I want to do, I'm just going to put that down for a moment. I have something I wanted to try. Yeah, here, this. I don't know how this would play out. This is some eyelet lace, and I also have some beads. So it's a very tiny piece. So this is what I use for this piece. And I'm feeling like this might be too big, or maybe I just get all of this I'm going to save because you can use this. You don't throw that out because you can glue that to another piece. Look, I mean, I could just put this right over here right now. And you can make these pieces on an angle too. They don't have to be like that. They can be on an angle. So it's your brooch, so you can kind of play around with it and make it, you know, like any way you want. But yeah, I really like this. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead with this. This is um, crochet lacy thread, but let me see here. I mean, I just am loving, I'm just going to put this a little bit under the bow. I know I just covered up the ribbon, but that's okay, because part of this is while you're doing this, you're learning and you're figuring out what's working and what's not working, and what design you like and what you don't like. And I'm loving this. Now I like too that I'm layering, because with the fabrics, when they're your lacy fabrics, they can, I just am loving this right like that. And I'm gonna let it even go over the edge there a little bit. So I just love that. Actually, let me just bring this over. Yeah, that's just cute. All in all, that's just adorable. Okay, so, and I'm loving the lace here, the lacy crochet thread. It's just the color. And you know, I've had this color up on my shelf for some time. So I'm just really happy. Now, what I'm noticing is the bottom of the piece is kind of in with the fray. So what I'm going to do after in a little bit is fray it a little bit more. And then I'll adhere it in the back when I put a backing to this with some glue. So what it will do is two things. It will take care of the fraying, so it can be beautifully frayed, because I'd kind of like to do it with this, and I'll show you in a minute. Um, and it will give it a backing. So a couple different things going on there. And you don't have to be expert at anything to get this done. You really don't. I mean, you just have to want to do it, have your, you know, creativity hat on, and just kind of go for it. So I just kind of want to go straight down here. I just love this. I'm just loving the colors. You can see how it's coming out. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go over this way. And then I will show you. Now on the back, I'm going to weave the tail in and out of these already said stitches. And that just, you know, gives it a little bit more of a trail, so it doesn't come undone. It won't come undone, but if it tried to, it would have a heck of a time. So I'm going to take my pin here, okay? And I took my wires out because I wanted the wires out. And I'm just going to, I just want to get a little fraying from my silky piece there. And I want to be careful because it's very delicate and I don't know if it's going to let me do it. There's a little bit. And from this piece, you see, just, you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of getting a little vintage vibing going from all the little pieces, you see? And I'm just using the tip of the needle, that's all. And just going gently. And usually what you could do is just put it down like that. And that's just a little tip trick. And this is used in, excuse me, in needle felting, when you're making, like, needle felting a little animal or something, you want it to have fur, you just comb it a little bit with the tip of the needle. So, until you get it the way you want it. So I just love that. I think that's lovely. It's just a little different, and that's kind of what I want. And I kind of want those to be just a little bit down like that. So what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to take another piece of denim, okay? And I'm just going to simply glue it on there. And it doesn't have to, I mean, it's nice if it covers the whole back of it, but you just kind of want to cover at least, you know, the stitching and part. You can make it, if we have, let's see if we have, we should be able to have a piece here. Right here, just kind of put it against another piece. Now the other thing you could do is actually use a different piece of fabric. It doesn't have to be the same as the denim. So you actually would have another design on the back. So I'm just simply tracing this, and that gives me a nice adequate piece there to glue. And so that's just what I'm going to do. And this is a super, super glue. And so when you put a backing on the piece, for example, like this, it's going to be a magnet. The thing to remember is that that extra fabric is going to make the piece heavier. So let me just show you this for a second. Right here, let's just turn this. Isn't that adorable? Now check this out. This is just a list of fruit and veggies, but look, it holds it beautifully, okay? So when you have a piece of fabric that, if you have a piece like this, and I'm just going to bring you in to say hello to the finches. Say hello to the finches to give you a little artistic inspiration. But when you have a piece, I'll just put this here for a minute, like this, and you're adding fabrics to it, if it's a pin, you're totally fine. You know, I mean, you can add, look how adorable that is. We're just in the light. I just wanted to move in the light a little bit, but look how adorable that is. I mean, it's kind of a little vintage vibing. It's no special technique at all that I used, just a little free form of visible stitching, and no patterns, no preconceived notions of what I was going to do, just creativity, and I'm loving this piece. So, hey guys, they got little bird seed on the table. That's why they have their own table now. That's why. But aren't they just adorable? So they're in the window, and they know that they're on camera somehow, so I don't want to make them too nervous. Sorry, guys. But so I always pull inspiration from the real, you know, the wildlife and whatnot. So anyway, yeah, this piece, we'll go back over here for a minute. This piece is it's just complete creativity, and you know that I just encourage that completely. So The other thing I'm going to be doing is taking these paper twists or whatever they are that we got from the thrift shop that we were going over these earlier, and use these to make junk journal pages. So there's so many different things we're going to be making. And what's the reason? The reason is that we have the art and craft fair coming up in November. So let me go back over here and just talk to you for a moment about that. Okay, so there's a few things going on, and so again, October 23rd, we're at River Arts making the little needle felted gnomes. So if you want to be part of that class, come on over. In November, at the beginning of November, we're in Essex, Vermont, at the First Congregational Church. It's an art and craft fair. If you're up in Vermont or you're in that area, stop in and say hi. But for that particular craft fair, I am going to be making so many things. So from the, and I'll be sharing them here, and you see me today kind of just making, and it's all creative. I don't use the patterns and whatnot, but what I do use is the scrap fabrics. I do want to focus a little bit more on the themes of the birds and the spirit guides, and it's whimsical designs too. So there's a few designs that I'm going, let me share with you that I have done so far for the art and craft fair. And I put them all over here. So I don't know if you can see, this is another table that I am working at. So I'm just going to hold these up and share these with you. Some of these you may have seen, some of them you have not. But in addition to these, yes, we will be continuing the meditation fabric journal. We will be continuing these, which is the sewing, the needle sewing journals, or little books. We should say they're not journals, really. But this is kind of what I'm talking about. If any of you have not seen these are brand new, like in the past couple of weeks, this past month anyway, that I'm making these little mini wall hangings. So these are, now with these, you can also use the tulle, you can use the ribbons, you can use the shells. You can get as creative as you want with these. This is another one. I love this kind. I just love it. This is my free motion stitching. You see this? People do it, and I just need to do a little bit more up here before I do the handle, and I did back-to-back hem on that. This is another one, WIP. This is a cat. I hand stitched Sashiko stitching the hat. The cat in the hat. This is another one with on the eyelet. You can see in the back. See how it's free motion? You see? I'm not trying to stay in any particular line. Okay, so I have just a ton of them. And so these will all be the type of things that I will be having at the Art and Craft Fair. The other thing we're going to be doing next is a needle felted bowl. And I'm going to show you two ways to do that. One is we're going to crochet with the wool, and then we're going to needle felt it. So I'm going to show you that. And the other is we're going to do dry needle felting. So those of you who love your needle felting, get your wool, a lot of people have asked me as viewers, can I use an old wool sweater? If it is 100% wool, absolutely. If it's 60%, it should let you still needle felt. But if it's 100%, that would be best. And yes, you can. The only difference is because you're working with something that's already been what they call, combed and spun and then crocheted or knitted. The only difference is um, you won't have what they call splay with raw wool. You're pulling the pieces apart. So if you're working, so I could work on getting an old wool sweater and share with you how you would do that. That would be a really fun project to do too. So anyway, just so much to share with you, but I'm so happy that you were with me today, everyone. Oh, you're back. Okay. Hi. I don't know how long you've been back there. I started making the little pin. So this, or the brooch. So this brooch, what I would do with this is I'm going to get a pin. Oh, I just wanted to show you this too. This type of pin, you can get these type of pins at, again, at Walmart. Okay, I don't know if, I heard Joann's might be opening back up, by the way. I don't know if any of you heard that. But you can use this type of pin. You would just simply, you could do one or two things. You could glue it on the back. It might be easier than trying to sew it. Or if you sew this onto the back, I would do it first before you do any of this, because this is a little tricky to sew it. So anyway, you could use that as a backing. Now, using this type of pin, what I like to do is put it this way, so you see it's upside down like that, and then just stitch it around, just like I did here, and then decorate the pin itself with all of these lovely little pieces of bow and tulle, and you can use beads and ribbons and whatever it is you like. But that's how this is going to come out, and it's not going to be difficult at all. Let's see how, I'm trying to see how long we've been on here. Oh yeah, we've been on some time. So time flies when you're having fun. I don't know what to say. But anyway, with that, I'll be jumping back on here very soon. You can see I use the same fabrics, but is that just adorable? See, this one has a little pink. I'm just loving. I love, love, love this project. So, and especially with my birds chirping, that's where I'm gonna go work. It's next to them. Now they are getting like, I don't know, for lack of a better way to describe it, the fun little dinosaurs in the Jurassic Park movie. That's what these guys. I mean, they're little birds and they're just adorable, but they are getting like like they're even trying to open the door. I mean, they're exploring that cage like you would not believe, and they're flinging out their seeds. And I'm vacuuming 5 times a day. So before I go sit too close over there, I have to make sure I'm in good distance. So, but anyway, with that, I'm just enjoying this project immensely. And yeah, so you can sell, and you can make and sell these. I would call them vintage, because some of these fabrics are definitely vintage. They're definitely older. I would call them vintage brooches, vintage textile brooches, textile art brooches, charms, or like this lady at Our Shabby Cottage on YouTube, she calls them hang tags. So whatever you call them, I think is fine. So anyway, with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. I hope that you got some inspiration from all of these really cutesy little Boro inspired and textile or fabric collage brooches. And with that, we'll see you in the next one. Love and light.